Hi everyone, and welcome to this Pano2VR 101 video pop-up webinar. In this webinar we'll be looking at, as the title says, video pop-ups, but mainly we'll be looking at the video element and all of its settings. As always, I'm Martin from support, and
I'm Karen. Hi. I'll be working in the background here, helping out with the Q&A. And I think Martin has something he'll throw up on his screen. If you're new to our webinars, just so you know, we like to use the Q&A tab. Please put your questions there, and Martin will be going and asking questions throughout the webinar today. And also, the only other request is to please try and stay on topic, and we'll try and get everyone's questions answered. So enjoy the webinar, and I'll be in the background here.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Right, let's start off then. What I want to do is a quick tiny recap on what we've done so far. So this is the project that we've all been working with, and so far we've built this up from just 4 nodes. We've got hotspots that change nodes. We've been using different colors for hotspots for information. We can close that, come back, and when we whiz that around, we've got our image pop-up we did last week. Okay, so this week obviously we're adding to this project, and it's going to be a video pop-up. Now, video pop-up, like last week we said image pop-ups, and the first thing I showed you was a pinned image that could pop out. This week is going to be no different, because that's one of the things we can do. So if we go back to Pano2VR, and this is probably the quickest way to add any sort of pop-up like video or whatever. So what we're going to do then is in Pano2VR, I'm going to hover over and see the viewer tools. I'm going to select video. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to go to my, I've got a folder here full of resources, and I'm going to grab there we go, this video. All right, so would you like Pano2VR to create a preview? Yes. Save it. I've already got one in there, so I'm saving it over again, so it's not a problem. But here it is. Now we've got all this yellow surround. Now what is this? Now this is to do with, unlike images last week, videos have sound, and this is a sound field, because the sound by default turns into directional. So as we spin the panorama around, you'll hear the sound come in and drop out as you face the video and then rotate away from it. I'm going to set that to static, because purely we just want to create a pop-up video, and I want it in this area, so I'm going to zoom into this area, resize the video so it fits to where I want. So there we go. And then I'm just going to quickly straighten it up. We can have all these little tools like that. So that's it. So it's now pinned in that area. That'll do. Okay, right, so there it is. So if I just publish this and have a look, you'll see the video there, and it's not playing. Okay, now according to the properties for this, if you have a look, just again a recap, when we've got the property panel selected, or if I click in the panorama, it's the properties for the panorama. If I click in a hotspot, it changes for the properties of a hotspot. If I click on a pinned video element, it changes for the properties of that. And you'll see that the mode is static, so that's the sound mode. You'll see that's the level or the volume of the video. Loop is set to 1. So, you know, basically it should auto play, and it's not. Now, I'm not sure if you are aware of this or not, but basically browsers will not allow auto start of media with sound. So we have this other little checkbox here that says auto start and start muted. So if I now publish this and have a look, you'll see the video starts to play, but it's muted. Now, I'm aware that you guys won't be able to hear this, but when I now click inside the panorama, all the sound will start to play. And that's actually quite loud. And on the recording, this is going to be picked up on the recording, so you'll hear it back in the recording of this webinar. But basically, that's something I wanted to sort of bring to your attention, is that this start muted. So if you've got any video at all that on Project Open needs to play, it needs to be muted or have no sound, or it won't. Or as what as what we say to some people is have a little splash screen, and you can say start panorama with sound or not. And if you say no, then obviously you can bring the sound down. If you say yes, you've made that click in the panorama, so therefore the videos will start with sound. Okay, so while I'm here then, I'm going to talk about this loop. Now with the loop, this is how many times the video will loop. So if it's set to 1, it'll auto start, play once and stop. I can change this to any number. So if I set it for 3, it will loop 3 times and stop. If I don't want it playing from the outset, I set that to -1. All right, and then I can have a button click media, play media, and get it to play this media then. So this is how we control certain bits of media. All right, and video. All right, so that's basically a quick pop-up. So let's go to click mode. Let's do pop out 100%. I'll set the video back to playing once on loop. By the way, 0 means it's going to loop forever. So -1 doesn't play at all. 0 loops forever. 1 loop once, and any other number it will loop that time. So let's just do 1. I've got click mode for the video element is set, or the pinned video is set for pop out. So let's publish this. So quick gratification, boom, there's the video. All right, and back again. So yeah, that's the pop out, and of course 100% it's responsive. Now I was just trying to talk over the sound of that, so it probably drowned me out. Again, you'll probably hear that in the recording. Okay, so that's the fastest way to add a pop-up element or a pop-up video is just to add it as a pinned video. Right, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, now what I want to do is talk about the various ways that we can add video to the video element. Now the video element is up here, it's in the toolbar. When we hover over it, it says draw video. I select it, move the cursor into the component of the skin editor canvas, click, and it adds the video element there. I'm just going to draw it out, make it a little bit bigger, and let's just have a quick look. Now we've got a common theme going on with all of our elements. So we've got position, we've got appearance, but each element has its own unique tab. The video element is no different. It's got a video tab, and it tells us what, and we've got these options for the video element here. Okay, so the most important thing to note with the video element is it can only play the source that you've selected. Okay, so as an example, if I want it to play a file within the project, I can have it set to file. I can open or click the open output button or open folder button, go to a resource. Let's just go to the church video, open that up. Let's close, save. And when I publish, indeed, we get the video here. All right, and it's playing. So that's that video element playing a file. Okay, now what I've done is told that video element where to go to get it. It's got autoplay, and when it closes, it unloads the video. So in other words, if the idea is that you can get into a situation is that you've got a video playing with, say, audio, you close the video, but all you're doing is just hiding it. The audio is still playing in the background, but with this selected, it physically removes the video from the video element, so it stops that audio as well. Okay, we've obviously got some other checkboxes here. If the video has got its own controls, which browsers do. If I select this and play, you'll see that I've got the controls here from Safari. If I select the URL and go to Firefox, select Firefox, and you'll see that Firefox has got its own set of controls. This is quite cool, but what you're seeing here is a bit of inconsistency. So this is why we have our own Seekbar, and I'll be showing you later on how to add our own play, stop, pause buttons, because obviously if you build it in the skin, then it'll be consistent right throughout. But if you're really not worried about that, you can just select that and you'll get some controls, and that's job done. You can loop the video and you can mute the video. Same idea, that if you mute it, if it's got sound, it will play. However, if you mute it, it stays muted. So what you'll need to do is to give it a button click to play the sound. Just quickly, how you would do that is have a button. I'm just going to use a rectangle, and the action would be mouse click, volume, set the volume to 100%, and here you've got a few options, but of course what you would type in is video space 1. Okay, so now what would happen is that the video would play, it would play muted, and when you click this button you would then get the volume and you would hear it. Okay, so that's basically for static, not static, for a file, but we can have other options. We've got URL. All right, now this allows me to fetch a video like an MPEG-4, say, on my server. As an example, I'm just going to copy and paste in the URL. There it is. So it's on the support Gnome server, and it's the church MPEG-4 video. I could, if I had a poster frame, I could put that on there as well. So let's just publish this out, see what we get, and yeah, we can see this, and this is being streamed from the server. Okay, all right. So that's the type URL. We've got type YouTube and Vimeo. Now YouTube and Vimeo are the same in the way that you have to get the URL from that provider, because basically what happens is YouTube and Vimeo have their own players. So basically when I select YouTube, we are now emulating the YouTube video or video player. The difference with this is if I was to select a YouTube URL and paste it in, all right, so there's the full URL for a video. As soon as I hit return, you'll see that we only are using the YouTube's video ID, and when I select that, you'll see that it's playing one of our own videos, but it's only using the YouTube ID. So this is now taking on the YouTube player, so I don't need to add, you know, the absolute URL. All I need to do is add the video ID. Now this is important if you're using a set action to this, because so far what we've been doing is giving the video directly the links to play, but you can have one video element that plays many different videos. The only thing you have to be aware of is that if you want to be able to play, say, files and YouTube videos, you will need to make two video components. One has got to be set for file, and then not components but video pop-ups. One has to be set to file, and the other one will need to be set for YouTube. So only the YouTube one can play YouTube videos, and only the file one will play the file one. Okay, so I'm going to set this to YouTube, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a button to play this. So I'm going to right button click and clear. That's what we just did there. And I've got the let's just copy the code. Right, so I've got the video ID, so I'm going to create a button, and that button is going to have the action of mouse click. I'm going to set the value, and I'm only going to use the video, there we go, the video ID, and that needs to go to video 1. All right, so if I now save and close this, now the video element itself is here, because if I click and drag I can't move it, so it's an active element even though it's not playing anything. But this button there on click plays that YouTube video. All right, so I could have lots of different buttons or point hotspots all trying to play or playing YouTube videos in this one video element. So you can do that very much like the image loader of last week. We can do exactly the same thing with the video player here. The only difference is, as I said, and I can't stress this enough, is if you want to play just YouTube videos, then you would select this just for YouTube. But if you want to play, I don't know, all 4 Vimeo YouTube URLs and files, you would need to have 4 different video elements in. Now, just to prove a point on this, I'm going to select this and delete those. If we go to the components toolbox, you will see that we do actually have a video pop-up for file, URL, Vimeo and YouTube, and that's the reason why. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add 2 components to this skin that I'm playing with. and just to show you a different way of adding video to the project. So if you've built the video pop-up, which we will do after this explanation of the video element, there is several ways that you can add video. Now we've just seen that I can, you know, just put in file paths and get it to play, but what I can also do is drag and drop. So as an example, if I go to the MPEG-4 video here, if I set the the viewer mode to hotspots, because we're going to add a video hotspot, all I need to do is select my video and drag it in. Boom, it creates a hotspot. It automatically puts in the file path to it. It's automatically set up the hotspot type. All right, so I've got ht video underscore file. I'll explain this in a second. And I can now just put a title in there. So that's, there we go, that'll do. So that's my title. So now what I can do is, you'll see we've got the video element there, and when I click it, this is not going to play because I didn't set the video type. So if I go to here, let's see what we did wrong. So video underscore YouTube. So if we set this to, when I added the hotspot, we added it as file, as video, but I needed to add this as YouTube. There we go. Now it's going to work. All right. So that's that. So actually, no. What did I do wrong here? I'll tell you what I've done wrong here. Being a plum, I added a Vimeo video pop-up and a YouTube video pop-up. I did not add a file YouTube pop-up, so or file pop-up. So if I go and add a file one, so a third one, you'll see here that we've got the ht underscore file. Okay, so if I've added that to the skin. So now my test skin, has got 3 video pop-ups, 1 for each type. So that's going to be video. The source is video, it is file, and there we go. Let's just delete that and do what we did before, because I've now ruined that. And let's just drag and drop it in. It sets up the video type file, which is what I want. It's using the skin ID video file, so it's going to be using the right elements in the skin. So again, just add a title. It's already got the file path. This should now work, which it does. Brilliant. Okay, all right. So that's adding a video just by drag and dropping it. We can do exactly the same thing with YouTube and videos and Vimeo videos. So if I go to the Garden Gnome website as an example, documentation Pano2VR, here I've got a YouTube video, I think. Let's have a look. Is it a YouTube? Yes, it is. So if I open this in YouTube, all right, and pause it, what we do here is, if we have a look in the address bar, we've got our little red play button. All right, I can just literally drag and drop that in. And when I do that, it automatically sets it to the video type YouTube. It uses the YouTube video file name as the title, and it puts in the video ID. All right. This does exactly the same if I was to select a video of Vimeo. As long as I've got the Vimeo video player in the skin, this will work. So let's just publish this, and when I click on that button, there is our YouTube video playing. So that's a couple of ways of adding videos. We can manually do that in the skin by actually putting the video file name into the video element. We can do this by dragging and dropping videos into the point hotspots, and as we showed, we can add a button and set a value to the video element, be it a video ID or a file path to play the video. Right, so on that happy little note, I think that's a good place to stop and ask Karen, do we have any questions?
Hi there. Okay, so we have one question, and this is coming from Gustavo. And I was trying, oh good, he wrote back. I was trying to see exactly what he means, and because he's asking, how can we visualize the position and size of the pop-up video inside the editor? And he's talking about a video inside the tour in a fixed position. I'm not sure if that would fall under pinned video, which you were showing earlier, or adding the video element that you. Same. He's saying the same as an image placing. Yeah, I think you showed this earlier on, bringing in the video element. So you would do the same thing. It's the same exact. You're working in with the video element the same way you are with the image element. There's no difference.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I must admit, I don't quite understand the question. I mean, if it's how do you visualize it? I mean.
Oh, okay. I think he just said he just got into the webinar, so it must have been something I think if you, Gustavo, if you missed the beginning, then maybe that's what that's probably
what's throwing us, because I'm sort of thinking, well, we've covered this, but yeah, we actually did a pinned video and showed how to pin that, so that will be, you know, obviously at the beginning of the video once it's done. So
right, and there's also we have also video tutorials that are shorter and will also give you a basic idea of how to do that. But yeah, cool. Okay, so thanks, Gustavo. We have another question from Marcus, and he's asking, does the integrated video file affect the loading speed of the panorama, or is it better to include a video via a link? It's a good question.
If you're trying to, as an example, if you're using a video element and it's got to load a video on Panorama Open, then you want that video to be as small as possible, because obviously you're trying to load tiles, you're loading, you know, video elements, you're loading all the images together, and of course the more stuff you've got to load, the longer it's going to take. But if you want to streamline the loading, what you could do is have the video load a second or two afterwards. You could use a timer for that. I mean, I'm not going to go into that right now, but that's possible, where you could, you know, open up the project opens, bang, straight away, timer runs after a couple of seconds of, you know, the panorama loaded. It can have a, you know, when the timers deactivate, you know, set value to the video element and then play the video. So you're then streamlining the loading and you're spreading that loading time out, so the end user sees the panorama straight away, and then, you know, that's if the video is a hefty unit. But it also depends as well on how you have exported or built your video. As an example, you can have an MPEG-4 video that doesn't have the headers in the right place, and what I mean by that is the video player doesn't know that it can be streamed. So what will happen is that the video player will download a large chunk of the video before it starts to play. Handbrake, which is a little video application that I use, has a checkbox for web optimization, where it pushes all the headers at the top of the video, so it tells the video straight away, or the actual video player straight away, that this can be streamed. So what it does is it starts the video sooner because it knows it can be streamed from the server. So it does, it is encoding the right word probably. So it does depend also on, you know, how you've encoded the video. Does the project try to download a large chunk of the video before it plays, or can it stream it sooner? So yeah, there's actually a lot to that, and I think there's a lot that you can search for and find out for yourselves. But generally, if it's a hefty video size, regardless if you're going to stream it or not, you know, perhaps get it to start a second or two after it's been loaded with a timer. Okay, I think that's that one.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Start talking to myself here.
I think people wished I had a mute button, but there you go.
No. Marcus says thank you. Franco is asking, can you resize a video? And if so, are the properties maintained? I don't think you can resize the video except unless it's a pin video, right? So
you can resize, obviously the video we can't resize itself, but what we can do is resize the video element. So right. during the building of our video pop-up, which we've not even started yet, by the way, but when we get there, one of the things that we'll be touching on is is giving it the size of, say, 80%, so it scales with the window, so that will resize the video real time inside the player. So we'll be getting there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Franco. I think, yeah, this is in the next part. And I see, okay, I see Gustavo has a question. Can you pin a live link inside a tour? So I am assuming if you're asking, can you have like Facebook Live, YouTube Live within a tour? And yeah.
The answer is yes. Basically, obviously, we can't use the video element or anything like that, or pinned videos, but what we can do is something like Facebook Live will give you a URL which you can put inside an iframe inside Pano2VR. We use text boxes for that. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail because that's not part and parcel of the 101 experience here, but yeah, we can put a URL, like an iframe from a live stream inside Pano2VR, and when you click and open the text box, you will see that live stream, and so yeah, interact with it or whatever you need to do with it. So yes, it's possible. You can even attach that to a hotspot and then make the hotspot 3D distorted, so you will get some sort of pinned video effect as well, but also showing that live stream. So they are a couple of things that we can do.
That's it. That's all for the questions right now.
Okay, cool. Right, so just to recap then, so we've talked about the video element, we've talked about how to get video into it and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to now change my skin to the skin we left off with last week. So this is the one that's let's just get rid of that hotspot as well, because that was for that video. So this is where we left off with. So as I said, this is what we opened up with. So we've got the image pop-up and whatnot. So we're going to be adding a video pop-up to this, but we're going to be adding a file video pop-up, and we'll be building this from scratch. Now, what I'm going to do is, like what we did last week with, I showed you the assets. So I'm going to show this again, but for the video. So basically what I want to do is, in the skin, I want to target a video to play on a button, perhaps. Okay, so what I would do is I would use the advanced tab, scroll down, I can select add files or folders, I can go to my resource and add that video there. All right, so that's now added as an asset to Pano2VR. And what will this do, or what this will do, is when I generate the output, it's created an assets folder. So if I right button click on the file path, all right, I can open in Finder, because I'm on the Mac, it would be open in Explorer on the PC. When I click this, you can see there's my output folder. When I double click, I have now got an assets folder, and here is that video that I've just put. So I know when I build, if I want to target that video, it's going to be assets / and then the file name, which is going to be church mpeg4. All right, so that's how I know I can get to this. So this is the assets folder, and this is a really good way of adding pictures and videos and all the sorts inside Pano2VR that you want to access with a button. So but having said that, I'm actually going to be using a point hotspot, and when we've built this, we'll be able to use like drag and drop in the MPEG-4 into the view, and this same system will be able to play any of those. All right, so even though I've just showed you this, it's not actually going to be used in this project, but it was needed to say that, you know, because obviously I showed you using a button and setting a value. So in this case, we used a actually, you know what, I'll just show you. It's the easiest thing to do. So let's go back to my test skin. Let's select all of this and delete. Boom. Let's get rid of all these variables that were coming off the components that's not needed. So if I added a video element, so we go draw video element, I'm going to add a button. Boom. And that button is going to say on mouse click, set value. The value, as I said, is now going to be assets. I'm on the Mac, so it's a / and that's going to be Lions jersey church.mp4, and that needs to target the video. That needs to be an H. Right, here we go. Well done, Karen. So I have my little guardian angel watching over my shoulder, Karen, and she just said, that needs an H. Right, okay, so this is it. So now the video element's there because I can click and drag and I can't move the panorama because it's an active element, even though we can't see it. But when I click the button, it's playing that. And it's actually fetched that from the assets folder. So that's a reason why you would use it. But anyway, let's not harp on that because that's all done. What I want to do now is build this video pop-up. So let's go back to our skin. Here it is. What I'm going to do is deselect everything in the tree as we've always done to keep the skin nice and clear. I'm going to add the video element. This is what's going to be playing our video. I'm actually going to call this video pop. I'm using a naming convention that's sticking very much to what we've been doing. So I've got info pop, I've now got video pop. I'm going to use the anchor in to anchor it in the center of the screen and set the X and Y to 0, 0, so it positions it in the center. And I'm going to set the size of it to, what am I going to do? I'm going to select percentage and I'm going to set it to 80%. All right, so let's do that. And there we go. So that's basically, this will now stay 80% of the window. So if I open up the live preview, you'll see now that it will scale with the window. So that's why the percentages. Okay, now a couple of things here is I'm not going to add a video close button. I'm going to, in this build, you'll click the video to hide it. So I'm going to give the video element itself a hand cursor. So when you hover over it, your cursor turns into a hand to make sure it's clickable. I'm not going to give any file names here under the video because I'm going to leave it at file because we're going to set a video file to this, but not actually add one just yet. I'm going to leave it to autoplay, and when we close it, I want it to unload. I don't want anything to, so if it's got sound, which this one won't, but if it had sound, I don't want that sound to be playing in the background. Okay, because it's going to be a video pop-up, I only want to see it when I want to, so I'm going to deselect visible. Okay, so that's my video element set up. So I'm now going to hide this in the tree. And now what we need to do is make the video hotspot. Now, you've seen me make these hotspots one at a time over the last few weeks. To speed up things this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the HT image hotspot. I'm going to copy that with my keyboard shortcut Command C. On the PC, it's Control C and Command V to paste it. All right, to modify this, I'm just going to call this HT underscore video underscore file. All right, because that's when I add an MPEG-4 to the viewer in Pano2VR, it will automatically select this. All right, so that's what we're going to use. Now it's got some actions from the when we were using it for loading the images, so I've deleted all those, and we've got video, so that's what that's called. That's fine, I'm happy with all of that. Right, so this is going to open the video pop-up. So on mouse click, then I need that to go visibility, I need it to show an element, and I need it to show now I can select it from a list. Scroll down, actually it shouldn't be too hard because it's V, it's going to be at the bottom, so video pop-up, but I could also start typing here, and when there's enough characters in there to find the element I want, it would show it. So that's the action on mouse click to show that element. Now I'm going to select this, and I could right button click, but I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut to copy this action. I'm going to select the video pop-up, and I'm going to paste it in and modify it. So this time around on my mouse click visibility, I want it to hide. I could leave it a video pop-up, but I'm going to say self because it's going to hide itself. So now I've got the actions to click to show the video and click to hide it. All right, so that's quite cool. The other thing that we'll need to do with the video element is just have a look at how we're going to play it. Now I've got autoplay selected here. if I didn't have autoplay selected, then I would need to put a play action in the hotspot. So it'd be mouse click, show the video, mouse click, play the video. Now at the moment, we don't know what video we're going to be playing, all right? But what we do know is it's going to come from a hotspot, okay? So what we need to do is say to the hotspot that on mouse click, you need to set the value to the video pop-up, right? Okay, so here we go. Where is it? Video pop-up, right? And the value is going to be very similar, well, almost the same. Well, actually, I'll say that again, the same as it was for the image pop-up. It's going to be $, open and close bracket, so open bracket, hotspot URL, because that's where the information is going to be coming from. So on mouse click, I'm going to set the value, whatever the video path is in the hotspot, to the video element or the video pop, and it will play it. Okay, so we click OK on that. I'm going to close this because I think we've done enough just to make a basic video pop-up. So we're going to save the skin, and we're going to do what we did before. So I'm going to make sure we're in hotspot viewer mode. I'm going to open up the project and my resource, and I'm going to drag in my church MPEG-4 video like that. Let's close that, and let's just put this over here. All right, I'll just give it a title. So that's video pop-up. Okay, so we've now got the, so it's because I've dragged it in, it's video title. Now if you remember rightly, as I said before, we have fixed skin IDs for certain things. So in this case, to create a video pop-up for a file, I named my hotspot template ht_video file. This is what it's automatically selected when I've done this. I could modify that, and if I do, all you do is you just need to select it from this list of other hotspot templates. So you can use a custom one, but as I already know the naming conventions within Pano2VR, I'm just using those standard naming conventions. Okay, so let's just export this out. There is the video pop-up, and when I click it, there is the video, and when I click the video, it stops. Wonderful. What I will do is on the video hotspot, I'm going to change the dot, because I'm using different colored dots for different things. I'm going to change the dot to red for videos. And I've got a warning up here. Why have I got this warning? I've got this warning because it's ht_.info. I need to change that to dot video, and again same here, info, change that to IDEO. I like to keep, obviously Pano2VR is giving you a warning, but it's trying to keep all these things, all the IDs separate. Okay, so that's all of that. Let's close and save. I've now got a red dot. So in my tour now, I've got the convention of a black dot is a node hotspot, blue is for images, green, which is the info, is in the other node, and the red ones are now for videos. And there's my video hotspot. Okay, just to tidy this up, like we did with the image pop-up, is I'm going to add a screen tint. I like my screen tints. What that does is darks out the panorama and it brings the focus to the video. So I'm just going to call this, oh actually I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to build one from scratch. I'm going to show you that we can select an element already in the skin, copy it with a keyboard shortcut, paste it so it puts it there. Instead of image screen tint, I can just name that video screen tint. Okay, see all of this shortcuts and banging backwards and forwards. I know it looks quick, but when you start getting the hang of this, you'll see that skins can be created very, very quickly. You'll just say, oh, well, I've already got that element. It's already got a load of actions in it. Don't need to do it again. I can just copy and paste it and modify it. So I've got this video screen tint here. It's going to be doing the same. It's 100% big. It's got, you know, it's black with an alpha to it. It's got no action, so I don't need to do anything other than what it is. So that works. All right. Now, if I'm using this, what I've got to do is, obviously, visibility, it's deselected. So by default, when we open up, you can't see it. But of course, what I want to do is on mouse click, I'm going to add visibility. I want to show the element, and that is going to be the video screen tint. All right, so that's that one there. Once I've selected that and created that action, I'm going to copy the action by selecting it, keyboard shortcut or right button click on the mouse. And I'm going to add to the video itself, because the video, when we click it, closes everything. So I'm going to select that and paste that in and say on mouse click, visible, hide element, screen tint. Okay, so now what we've done, he says, this is going to be interesting, this, because there is a mistake here, and that is when we click this, boom, the screen tint's covering everything. Why is that happening? Because, again, it's to do with the order of elements in the tree. Now, what you want is the screen tint to cover the hotspot, so that's good, but you want the video element to be above the screen tint, and the higher an element is, the more visible it is, or more forward it is. So we're going to drag and drop that to the top. All right. Oh, that even rhymes. Drag and drop to the top. I'm going to patent that, make a fortune. Anyway, right. So click the hotspot pop up, and here we go. We've got the video popped up. It's in focus. The background's all darked out. Brilliant. I've got exactly what I want. Click the button, and it's gone. Right. Quick break there, because I need a drink. Karen, have we got any questions? Sorry, I didn't have any. I sort of didn't give you any lead into that. Just a boom.
Oh my God, no, mute button. Where is it? Yeah. No, there aren't any questions. I think I have a question for the people who are joining us, and I'm just curious, how many of you are visiting our webinar for the first time today? And you can use your little raised hand, and that would just let me know. And that maybe everyone has joined us. I think I recognize a lot of the names in the participant list.
I've just thought of something, that's going to be really awkward at the end of this webinar, and that's next week we're going to be doing... I haven't thought about what we're doing next week, so it'll be a surprise, I think. But anyway, I have no idea why that's just popped into my mind. It just has. Sorry, but yeah, you go.
Is it going to be another 101 series?
I actually reckon it's about time we started bringing in some variables. And as scary as they sound, they're really not. And what we're doing now, adding tons of actions to elements, a variable would whack all those actions down. So what I might do is revisit this one, but use a variable with it and see how many actions we can actually get rid of just using variables. That might be... I'll run that past the powers that be. But anyway, that's for next week.
Might be a little spicy for, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's
but it
see.
might be cool.
Yeah. Okay, right. Well, if there's nothing, then we'll crack on.
We have a
go on,
question
sorry.
that came in. So Miguel is asking if we can use the same screen tint for all the host posts. I'm assuming that means for all of
we can. We can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Basically, the image pop-up, I'm using image screen tint, and I'm using video screen tint. But if you just called it screen tint, and then the hotspot for the image pop-up just uses screen tint to hide and show it, and the video one uses screen tint to show. Yeah, but the only thing you'll have to remember is that the screen tint has to be above all the things you want to cover, including the hotspots, but it has to be underneath the image loader, the external image loader. It will need to be underneath the video element, and it will need to be underneath the text box if you're going to do a text pop-up as well, an info pop-up. So you just have to think where you're placing things in the skin tree. But yes, you can. Just obviously, as we've been building this, I try and take, like, as we're building the video pop-up, as from scratch, and all the things that you would do. But yeah, there's absolutely no reason why you can't do that. Okay.
Good. All right. So I don't see any more questions. Then take it away.
Okie dokie. Thank you very much, Karen. Right, back to it. So let's get this skin open. So we've got the video pop up and we're doing whatnot. The other element I want to introduce you to today is our Seekbar. Here we go. So here it is. Click on the Seekbar. If I hover over it, it would say something like draw Seekbar, which it does. So I select that, move it into the skin, click, and there it is. All right. This is like every other element. It's got position, it's got appearance, it's got rectangle. We can change radius, board, whatever, but it has its own unique tab, and we can change the playback progress. so how much of the video you've been looking at. The download progress, so if it's having to download the video or stream it, this is this lighter color, and then the playhead is a round red color. And the other thing that the Seekbar has to know is what media is it actually representing. So I could add a sound to the skin, or I could add a sound to the viewer as a pin sound or whatever, as a directional sound, and you would click this drop down menu and you would select it. Now at the moment I don't have any other sounds. What I do have though is the video pop-up, so I can select that. So this is now attached to the video pop-up. Okay, so if I just put that at the bottom, what I'm going to do is, it says it's Seekbar 1, so as in with my naming convention, I'm just going to change that to video Seekbar. I'm going to pin that bottom. Am I going to pin that bottom? Yeah, okay, I'll pin that bottom, and I'm going to set the X to 0 so it's in the center of the screen. Okay, so theoretically, I mean, I haven't hidden it yet, and I don't want to do it because I haven't finished with it, but if we save and export this, you'll see that there's the Seekbar there. It's got no red dot because there's no video playing. As soon as I click the pop-up for the video, you'll see that the Seekbar then becomes active. As soon as the Seekbar is active, because this is a local file, there's no download to it, and I can click the Seekbar and scroll backwards and forwards. So that's our Seekbar. Now, as I said before, the thing with the Seekbar and having our own elements in the skin is you can build a control that will now look the same regardless of which browser, yeah, or which flavor of operating system or whatever. That's the whole point. I mean, you can just click controls and use whatever controls that browser will offer you, but you can tailor-made your own controller. Okay, so I'm leaving it visible for the second because we need to do a little bit more work with it. So there's my video. There's the Seekbar. What I also want to do is show you how we can control the video with actions. So I'm going to add a little rectangle. Let's just call this my video play pause. All right, and I'm going to make this 20 by 20. Is it 20 or is it 15? It's 15. All right, I'll do that by 15. So it's 15 by 15. There we go. So that's the size. No, it's not. What is going on with my hands? Right. Right, let's do that again. 1, 5. That's it. I need to go back to school. 1, 5. So it's 15 pixels. It's going to be putting it at the bottom. I think it's 25 pixels up. No, it wasn't 25. So what was that? This was 15 up from the bottom. So we'll select that button and we'll have that 15 up from the bottom just to keep it in line. Now this is my video plays pause button. All right. Do I have video plays pause? Video plays pause. Do I do this? Yeah, let's do this to start with. Right, so I'm going to do a mouse click. All right. We are going to select media in the action and we are going to give it a play pause media action. The loop is 1. Remember I was saying about loops, -1, it doesn't start, 0 plays forever, loops forever, and then we give it a count. And then the target will be the video pop-up. Okay, so that is what that's going to do. So that's my button. As it's a button, I will give it the hand cursor check. We've already called it video play pause. And that's really all I need to do. So if I close the skin and export this, there it is, there's the button. So if I play the video, I can click, pause it, click, play it, pause, play. There we go. So that's pretty good. And whilst it's paused, we can scrub wherever we want and play it again. Right, let's click the video and stop that. Okay. One other thing I haven't spoke about, and that is the video or Seekbar can have their own actions and respond to the video playing. So as an example, if I select the Seekbar, now this is the same actions will work in the video element as well. If I double click and let's just see what source actions we have. We have activate, deactivate and media end. When a video is playing, the activate will work. When the video is paused or stopped, it will be deactivated. When the video gets to the end of the media, strangely enough, the media ended will be activated. So you can do lots of things with this to enhance your video player that you're building. So as an example, I'm going to set my video play pause to video play. I am going to copy it and paste it and set that to video pause. All right, so I just need to change the action. So this one is going to mouse click, and this will play the media, and this one on mouse click will pause the media. Where is it? There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stack these in a particular order, because what I could, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, when it's active, let's show the pause button and hide the play button, and when it's deactive, show the play button and hide the pause button. All right, but as these two buttons are the same size, I actually only need to hide and show the top one. So if the top one is play pause, is it play pause? Yeah, play pause. Then when I click that and pause it, if it disappears and shows the play button, and then when I press play and that one then the video pause will show and cover it. So just to prove the point, what I'm going to do is the video pause button, let's make that a different color. So let's just make that I don't know, a green. All right, so let's make that green. Okay, the video play button, so to play it, let's make that blue. Why not? Right, so what I'm going to do then is that the video play button, that can be shown all the time, and the video pause button, that will be shown all the time. All right, but when I select the Seekbar, what I can do now is say that when the video is active, all right, I'm going to swap those around. Okay, I've just seen my mistake, so I'm going to swap those around. All right, so when the video is active, right, so when it's activate, so when it's activate is true, or when it's playing, all right, I'm going to visibility hide the play button, right? So let's just do that. So what's this? Well, I call it video play. So let's video play. Okay. So I'm going to copy that and paste it again, and say when it's deactive, I'm going to show the video play. All right. So have I done enough to make this work? So here's the blue button. So let's play the video, and it's green. If I pause it, it stops. It's hidden the pause button because the video Seekbar is telling me that it's disabled or deactivated, sorry. So as it's deactivated, I've created the action to hide the pause button. So I'm now back to the play button. So when I click the play button and it starts to play again, that should bring back the visibility of the pause button. All right, so now we've got this color change, and we now can play and pause. Alrighty, that's quite cool. I'm going to add one more button to this, because with the play and pause, it doesn't rewind. I mean, obviously you can grab the Seekbar and pull it backwards, but what I can also do is if I click the play button, again, I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to call that video stop, cursor down, change the action, mouse click, media, play to stop. All right, and it's going to be affecting the video pop-up. And what I need to do with that is change its position. So let's just bring that over a little bit. There we go. That'll do. Well, and I'm going to change its color to red because it's a red stop button. There we go, red. Okay. So what I should have now is, if we play the video, we've got my green, pause, play, and we've got stop, takes me back to the start, and then I can play again. So that gives me basically all the controls I want. Right, but I want to tidy this up even more. All right, I know time-wise is getting there, but what I've got left now is very, very quick. Now, the reason why I didn't do anything with these buttons, any positioning or anything like that properly, is because I'm going to select the container tool, and I'm going to draw a container around all of this. All right, so it's now just one element, and I'm now going to call this the video container. Okay, right, so let's just do that, and I'm going to make sure that that this is anchored in the bottom, in the middle. It's 17 pixels up from the floor, and I'm just going to set that because obviously we put the Seekbar in the middle and then we added the buttons to one side, so it's slightly over to the right. But now I've put a container around it, I can now center the container, so it's now all in the middle. Okay, so I've now got one element that I can use to hide and show everything. All right, so what I can do here now is with the container, video container, I can now hide this. So in the hotspot, that when we click it to play the video, I can give it the action, right, to mouse click, visibility, show element, and that will be probably one up, video container. Here we go. So now when we click the hotspot, we're going to get the video show, we're going to get the screen tint show, and we're going to get the video container with the controls show. Now I want to copy this action and I want to put it into the video element, because when we close the video, I want everything to hide again. So I'm just going to paste that in, and we're going to say mouse click visible, hide the video container. All right. So that's what that should do. So let's click save, have a look at that. So there's no video container. When I click this now, we get the video, get the screen tint, get everything working, and we stop that. There's one other ugly little bit I want to get rid of. I've got in my mind, I've got, you know, forever, but I know this time's moving on. But one other little thing I want to do is just to add that little bit of polish and that little bit of sparkle, is that when I show the video, we saw the controls underneath them. So what we can do is also say, right, is on mouse click, on visibility, I'm going to hide the controller. All right, it's moaning because I didn't put a capital C. There we go, controller. Okay, and I'm going to copy that action, go back to the video element, because obviously when I click this it hides everything. So what I'm going to do what I need to do with this is that when we close the video element, mouse click, visibility, show the controller. So as a final bit of polish, what we're doing then is, there's the video pop-up, it's playing the video, it's all nice and responsive, well, hey, and when we close, and as this is opened, you'll see all the buttons have gone. So we've got a nice clean interface for our video control, and when we close the video element, our buttons come back again. And there you go. I think that's just about me. Throw it to Karen one more time for any more questions, but I think I'm done with video pop-ups.
Oh, not yet. There are questions to answer.
Well, questions are good.
So I'm going to start with Marcus's question, and he is asking, is it possible to use one music or audio file in a project that's going to play every time a video is played, no matter which video in the panorama is running?
Yeah, you can. I mean, obviously because you're using one hotspot to open a video, right, you can add a sound file to Pano2VR. You know, we can, you know, set this to sound. Yeah, set this to sound. We can drag a sound in, set it to static, because obviously when we drag it in, it'll be a directional sound. So we set it to static. We'll set the loop to -1. And as we add, let's just add a video just to show you what I mean. So if this was just a sound file, which it's not, it's a video, but bear with me. So if I was to add that, oh, wrong one. So let's just go back to video there. So if I would change this to the sound scheme, like to the actual sound viewer mode, all right. I would drag in and drop my sound. I would get very much this sound area, all right. I would set that to static, but you get an ID. All right, so I'd actually say, I don't know, SND1 as an example for sound. So that's how I would set that up, and I would set the loop to -1. Okay, so that's set up. So the sound is in the is in the skin, or rather in the project file. It's got an ID of SND1, and it won't play because I've set the loop to -1. Right. So now in your video pop-up hotspot, you can actually have, you know, mouse click, media, play once, and the ID would be SND1. So as you click the video pop up, and the video will pop up and show, and that will also trigger that sound to play as well. And because you've added it in the first node, because this is important, when you add a sound to the first node, you need to also, there's a checkbox, which I've moved now, but there's a checkbox that says it's available to all nodes. I can't remember its exact wording, but I think it's copy to all nodes or something. So when you've gone to a node with that sound now is available to all nodes. So if you put that into the first panorama, doesn't matter what node has got a video pop up, that sound will also play in any of the panoramas as well. So that would do that. There you go.
Okay. Yeah,
that's my
cool.
answer.
And I think that ties into another question that Gustavo was having, where he's asking if they had 5 videos and they want to play one right after the other, and let me read it exactly. Can we play 5 videos one after the other on the same button launch?
I did this the other day in the forum. Somebody asked this, and I've actually built the project in the forum.
Okay. Yeah.
What I did, right? This used variables, which we've not covered in these 101s, but basically, how it worked was I was using the media end action, right? Which I haven't shown you here yet, have I? Damn, I did. I wanted to show you. Right, okay. Really, really quickly. Right. So, well, let's just do the video. So what we could do here is do media end or ended. So we could do visibility. We could do hide, and we can do. I'm going to do parent because this is a child element of this video. So if I wanted to hide everything in this container, I'm hiding the target parent. Okay, and then I can copy and paste that. So media end, hide the video pop-up as well. So we do video pop-up. Where is it? Very pop. And also what we'd need to do is on media end, hide the element, and that would be video screen tint. All right. So we've now got 3 media end actions, each one hiding something. So basically, if we played the video, if I pause it, scrub that almost to the end, play again, boom, you see? So I've got this media end action that we can control it. Now, the thing is, those 3 actions are separate. So when we're playing a video, it's activate. When we stop the video, it's deactivate. But that media end is its own action. When we've run out of stuff to play, it will trigger that action. So what you could do is have a series of actions in the video player to say, you know, on its active. So when it's deactivate, set value to itself and a new video file path. And then on deactivate, you know, play that, and it triggers itself. So basically on end, you can tell it to loading a new video path and play it. Now with variables, what we can do is every time it plays, we can add a number to it, and we can turn around and say, now I'm jumping around a bit, sorry, but basically what you would add is an action filter. So you can have all the actions to play all the different videos using media end, but using an action filter, it will only allow you to do one after the other. So it will play the first video. When we get to media end, we can then load the next video. It plays that. When it gets to media end, the action filter will then say, don't play those 2, play the third one, and it will get there. So basically, as I say, the project's in the forum, but it's basically an automated gallery of videos just using the one video element. So yes, it can happen. That's how it happens. I think if you search in the forum, you'll find it. But yeah, it's there.
Cool. I think the answer is to most of these
Yes.
questions is yes. It's just a matter of the level of complexity or maybe
Yeah.
difficulty to it. But that's why we have these webinars, because so the more you learn, the more you get to understand how they can all be done. And that actually brings me to Markus Neumann's question. I think your question was probably answered in that last bit, because he's asking if I have multiple videos or sounds, do I need a separate video container with a Seekbar and buttons? And you just showed there, maybe you took your eyes off of for a moment, Marcus, but yeah. But there might be some instances where you do need different.
Right, here's a tip, right? Okay. The video element you can set a value to. So a video element, it can play any video. It also, you can add a sound file as an asset and ask it to play that. So you don't get any visuals, but it will play the sound file. Right. Now, why is that important? Because the Seekbar can only be associated with one element at a time. So you could add an audio element and the Seekbar to work with that audio element, but if you add another audio element, you'll need to add another Seekbar to work with that, right? Okay, now this, you would have to do this if you wanted directional sound, because obviously the sound spots are in different areas of the panorama. But if you just wanted to play a static sound, you would add a video element. All right, now I'm probably going to get told off for saying this, but it does work because I've tried it and I've done it so many times and it's a good idea, is that you add a video element and a Seekbar that's attached to the video element, so video 1, and then you can use the action to set the value to the video element, and that can be an MPEG-4 or an MPEG-3. So whatever you want to throw at that video element, it will work as long as it's set to file. So type file, obviously if the video element's set to Vimeo or YouTube, then it's not going to work. But if it's set to file like we've just done here, you could have a button to show it, and as soon as that video element is playing either a sound or a video, that Seekbar will now respond to that video element playing whatever you're playing. So you can have.
Show us the Seekbar again? What? So it's on the. So
yep.
Can,
okay. No worries. Yeah. The idea is that the Seekbar, right, has to be associated with an element, and if we scroll down to its properties, you can see that I've attached it to the media element pop-up video. All right, but if I had a sound, remember I was earlier on, we said we could add a sound, and I gave it the idea of SND1, yeah? Well, that would be in this list. So this Seekbar would only work with SND1. I cannot use a set value action in a Seekbar, so I can't change whatever the media element it is representing is the word I was looking for. So whatever media element this is representing, I can't change it on a button. But if you associate this with a video pop-up and it's set to file type or set to type file, you can hide the video, you can have it off screen, you can have it invisible, you could have it permeable, it doesn't have to be seen, but then you can throw on a button, on a button you can set the value for as many different MP3s as you like to the video element, and of course the Seekbar then would react to it because it's associated with the video element. How cool is that?
I think that's cool. And yeah, Marcus, I think, yeah, that's just one element for the Seekbar. Got it, he says. So thanks for that. And I think you also answered Raul's question where, yes, how can I add a Seekbar to an audio element? So I think it's the same.
Yeah, all you do is you add your Seekbar and you tell the Seekbar which element to represent. Yeah, so that's what the Seekbar is doing. So if you've got a 5-minute video or a 5-minute audio track, then the playhead will represent that, and you can scrub backwards and forwards through the media. And of course these buttons will work as well. So this would actually all work if we just had it associated to a sound. So
yeah. All right, well, let's see. So Marcus Lach has a good question. It's a little bit off topic, but I think we run into this a lot. This issue is what happens when a computer or a phone can't play a video because of a missing codec? Is there a warning, or is there a possibility to program a fallback information? Like, what does one do to cover all this?
Well, basically, we're working with MPEG-4, and right now, MPEG-4 is supported by all browsers. So that's really not a question, really. It doesn't really come up. We do actually have the possibility of, when we're working with video panoramas, to have alternative, so input video, and we can have alternative files. But this is more to do with file size rather than anything else. Because as an example, we could put a 8K video file, but because we're using the browser's native video support, nothing's going to play 8K, right? So you think, right, okay, I want it to play 8K if I'm doing it locally or I'm doing whatever, right? But you could then put a 5K video in from, I don't know, say an Insta 360, whatever, they're 5Ks. That's not going to play in your browser online. It's not going to play in Safari, because Safari only sort of handles so far. So you could actually create a 4K video and a 2K video, and you could put both video files in here as an alternative file. So you put the 4K in one first, then the 2K in one. So when the video opens up in the in a browser that can't support 4K, it looks at the list, it looks at 4K and says, no, can't handle that. Looks down the list, oh, there's 2K, I can play that. So it will automatically do that. But as far as talking about different codecs and file types, sorry, I did digress there. Basically, we use MPEG-3, MPEG-4, and as far as I know, that is supported by all browsers. So that really doesn't come in. The only time that you'll bump into a codec problem is if you're processing a 5K 360 video file on a Windows machine, because Windows cannot support large videos natively. So you need a K-Lite, it's called a K-Lite codec pack that you need to install in Windows. So natively Windows can support large files. But that's the only codec that you'll need to update, as far as I know.
Yeah, and I think there's, maybe you can just quickly show, as a trick, because Marcus was asking, is there a way, it's like if there's a warning, or even if it doesn't come up, but there's still issues, and it's hard to, pinpoint what the issue is. One thing is to have multiple versions of a file. That's one way you can try to avoid this. And we have a convert. If you look on the left part of Martin's screen there, especially at least for the audio, because audio is kind of weird, you can convert or make an alternative file there. Yep. That's one option. But I think this was a solution from years ago where not all audio files were working. I think it was.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was not all browsers were supporting MPEG-4
right.
and MPEG-3,
right.
but now all browsers do. So that really shouldn't come up unless you're using some really strange browser, or if you're doing something within an intranet and you're using your own built browsers or whatever. I don't know, but basically the world supports MPEG-4 and MPEG-3, so that really shouldn't be an issue.
And one last question goes to Gustavo, who is asking when Pano2VR version 7 launch will be available, and when it's finished. But seriously, we hope to have it by the end of the year, but we don't project launch dates, or it's done when it's ready, and we can't give a specific date on that. But
well, we're still working on version 6, so
that
gives you some idea. I mean, it's basically Karen's absolutely dead right. I mean, it's how long's a piece of string? Twice half its length, and that's the answer you're going to get. Sorry.
Cool. Look, we're looking forward to it too, Gustavo. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's it for today. So thanks a lot, everyone. That's it for me.
Okay, and as always, really appreciate you guys coming in on the webinars. Makes my job worthwhile. Yeah, and if it expands your knowledge and expands the way that you can, or improves your panoramas, then that's a double win for everyone, your customers, you and us. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. Very much appreciated it.
Thanks.
Right, bye.
Bye.